really, really great to hear all the different perspectives, some amazing stories about how advantage thinking has affected people's lives. So much wisdom in the room. And I'm really humbled just to listen to everyone's perspectives and to be able to share together. It's just felt really, really positive. I'm really glad we've recorded the event, because I think I'm going to have to watch it back. There's so many little gems in there that need unpacking. But before I forget, let me start by just thanking everyone who's helped put the event together. I want to particularly thank some of the staff at YHG, especially the support from their marketing team that we really relied upon to help create the event and get it out there. And of course, Colin, who's been at the center of Advantage Thinking since its conception, David, and all the other wonderful contributors we've had from across the world. Also want to thank Renee for her t-shirt design, and my colleagues at the Foyer Federation, and everyone else that I've unintentionally forgotten about. It's been wonderful to see everyone and to hear everyone's stories. So I'm Joel. I'm the Chief Exec of the Foyer Federation, newly appointed in April, but I've been part of the organisation for just over 3 years. I want to talk a little bit about my own advantage thinking journey, and then have a bit of an opportunity to look forward at the future for advantage thinking. So 10 years ago, when advantage thinking was birthed, I was the support and engagement manager at the YMCA in Crewe. This picture is around that time. I was actually speaking at a Foyer Federation event, would you believe it? We just, at that time, we just moved into a purpose-built foyer-style building at the YMCA in Crewe. And we were working out how to create the best offer we could for young people. So we had really nice rooms and spaces, but we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just about that it was about how we work with the young people in that place. And we just started to engage with the Foyer Federation's program at that time. And I noticed Joel Attar had mentioned this program earlier, called Open Talent. And it was a pivotal moment in our thinking. And the introduction of advantage thinking at that time was a bit of a game changer for me as a service manager. It sparked us as an organization and me to just change a lot of the way that we worked, everything from policies to how we recruit, and particularly brought a new focus on coaching and how to authentically engage with people. I remember at one point we started ripping up offices that had only just been built so that we could create better spaces for young people and staff to interact and to try and shift that power dynamic that you often see within a supported housing environment. However, when I really started to reflect on my own advantage thinking journey, it goes back further than 10 years. And I can really draw on experiences of what I would call advantage thinking now, before it was even a twinkle in Colin's eye. And so it's something that I believe resides in each of us that needs fanning into flame. I believe it's the most human thing we have, to see each other as we really are, as beautiful beings, a complicated mix of strengths and weaknesses, confidence and vulnerabilities, but always trying to believe, always loving, and always growing in our relationships. And advantage thinking, I think, just simply names that thing that we feel and helps us to reflect and grow and challenge each other and to move forward so that we can create real change for those who get little opportunity to thrive. And there's been so many different perspectives that have been shared today that really have captured that. So thank you for doing that. So what is the future for Advantage Thinking. I think there's been some really great things already shared about this, and we'd love to hear more from you about how we can push an Advantage Thinking mindset and culture, how we can promote it, how we can live by it. And I think we think from a young person perspective that there's a lot of things that need to change within the systems and paradigms that we work in as professionals. At the For Your Fed, we believe that there's more of a need than ever to create a long-lasting community and movement of advantage thinkers so that we can ensure young people get the best offer possible in a time when employment opportunities are sparse and harder to get into than ever for young people, and where, of course, young people have been disproportionately affected by the isolation and mental health struggles that the pandemic's created. And so we want to help grow a community made up of young people, of funders, of youth workers, of service managers, all the people that are in the room. And dare we go even deeper into social care, probation, commissioning, colleagues in the social sector that often have so many deficit-based systems that they have to navigate, and cultures that they're trying to break through. So carefully, with your help, we want to build more of a home for advantage thinking where we can unite around the strengths, talents, experience, and energy of young people and of the people present. And so our vision for the future focuses around this concept of the home. So what makes a good home? Well, here are a few suggestions from me. A space to think and reflect. That might be a window ledge or a reading nook or a cozy snug. A place to explore, to be able to have fun and to be yourself at home. Good views out that provide perspective and being able to see beyond the immediate, connecting and responding to its environment, being welcoming and comfortable, and feeling like you belong and that you're safe and secure. In the same way, we want to create a home for advantage thinking that have all of these elements and more. So I just want to finish before I pass on to David to say some final words by telling you a bit more about the rooms within the Home for Advantage Thinking that we're looking to build or that we've already started to build. And so you can just see that overview there of the 4 rooms. And these form part of our strategy going forward. So the first one is around a room for youth leadership. And we've heard some great examples of that throughout this afternoon. And we want young people and the services that support them to have greater knowledge, skills, and opportunity to develop a more sustainable youth leadership approach, and to collaborate with us and with others in the youth sector to create networks that can do that. So this room is about rebalancing power and providing opportunities for young people to lead the way. With support from the Listening Fund and John Ellerman Foundation, we're already starting to engage in this piece of work, gathering a group of young people to help us explore what needs to change and the best action to take. And so we want to partner with like-minded youth sector partners who have broken similar ground in other areas and who can bring their expertise to help us crack the unique challenges within youth-supported housing. So a few things we want to achieve in this room. We've already created a youth involvement strategy. You can see that on our website. And we're trying to use that to challenge ourselves and to drive youth-led change within the charity. We've also created an online platform with and for young people to help them be able to share with their peers their own skills, experiences, and passion, so that we're not just relying on a top-down model of staff or old or adults teaching young people, but that young people really have opportunities to share with each other. We're going to continue to invest in young people's talents directly through our Talent Bond Fund that has been going over the last 10 years. And we're exploring new ways to ensure young people have better access to youth leadership resources and programs. So that's the first room. The second room has a focus on quality and impact. So I think we believe that most services want to work with young people's strengths and talents, despite the pressure from funding cuts and the focus on quick outcomes. But we often notice, and this was actually stated by someone else earlier, that there isn't a clear criteria for what effective asset-based working looks like, and therefore we often aren't holding ourselves to account fully, or we're not able to articulate how to grow and improve. So this room is all about how we do that. It's about building capacity, increasing the quality of services so that we can all deliver an advantage thinking offer that increases positive impact for young people. Our training and accreditation work enables some of that quality conversation to happen over time and helps build that genuine relationship that is focused on the mission of those organizations. And we want to use this knowledge and experience to help influence commissioners and decision makers so that they can really understand the benefits and concrete outcomes of investing in an advantage thinking approach. And Kate from Paul Hamlyn Foundation mentioned some of that about how we explore that and how we create that evidence base. So we want to do a lot more work in that area. Andy from Your Housing Group mentioned that we're in the middle of compiling a research publication on advantage thinking. We're looking to release that around the autumn time, and we'd love to have further conversations with those that it's relevant to, and to share some of the findings from that with you guys. We're planning to develop an advantage thinking learning curriculum that gives young people more ownership over their development and provides a better impact data set that's grounded in what young people want rather than just the organization's key performance indicators. And we want to widen and develop our network of like-minded services by finding different ways to accredit and develop advantage thinking approaches with services outside of our current network. The third area, or the third room, is around influence and campaign. We want young people with experiences of disadvantage to be meaningfully involved in shaping policy decisions and the services that they interact with. So we want to put more power into young people's hands. We're not looking at building a big staff team to do a load of policy work, but instead we want to empower young people at a grassroots level to have a greater voice and impact. And we want to invest directly in their ideas and insights and build some campaigns alongside them that show the power of trusting youth. By connecting and collaborating with other youth organizations, we'd love to design and unite under that advantage thinking brand or an asset-based brand so that we can influence positive change. So we're going to continue to capture and share more stories of young people through social media and our website and other platforms. We want to collaborate with other like-minded organizations to celebrate and promote the talents and skills of young people. And we'd love to be able to build more of a campaign with young people that unites a movement of advantage thinkers. The last room is around community, a community of advantage thinkers. I think there's a tendency towards individualism in the youth sector and the housing sector. As we each try to achieve our organization's missions, it's so easy for us to become overprotective and competitive for the limited resources that are available to sustain our organizations. However, I think we believe and we all know that true collaboration, generous leadership, and building our collective strengths are critical for an advantage thinking future, both for young people and for a fair and thriving society. We have more in common with each other than we often realize, and yet it's hard to carve out that time to work together and to help each other out. So this room is all about coming together around a common desire to see young people advantaged. It's about finding ways to learn together, to challenge each other, and to do more to give young people the chance to flourish. So building on the strong connections of our member network, we want to kind of develop and grow that community. We also want to develop new communities of practice that are accessible to those that are outside of our current network offer. And we want to create a space for like-minded organizations to think, collaborate, and challenge each other around asset-based thinking. So that brings me to the end of what I wanted to share. There's lots of stuff and lots of inspiration of what has been shared, and I think there's so much still to do. There's such a bright future for advantage thinking and for services for young people and for older people as well. we'd love to stay in touch with you guys. I did put a note on the chat earlier for those that had to leave it early, as for a link to a on our website so that you can get updated news from us. And we're looking at finding other ways that we can convene to continue the conversation. You can also download from that link a guide to the 7 tests of advantage thinking that could be helpful when you're speaking to other people around advantage thinking.